Greetings from Canada's proud capital city, where we're all set to continue Super Saturday in the NSL, presented by BMO, official bank of the Northern Super League. Nigel Reid in the booth, welcoming you to TD Place Stadium as the Ottawa Rapid hosts the Calgary Wild. The Rapid aiming to extend their unbeaten run and keep the pressure on the leaders. In contrast, the visitors have lost their last three and are desperate for a victory. The weather, it's another hot summer's day in Ottawa, temperatures in the 30s. That'll be testing for players and spectators alike. Perhaps not for this player. The league's leading scorer, Delaney Bay Pridham, DB, 12 goals and 1 assist. Nobody comes close to what she has achieved in front of goal this season. And a warning for the Wild, DB has already scored twice against Calgary so far this season. She scores with her left foot, her right foot, and by the way, with her head as well. She knows how to score, she knows how to celebrate as well. That is Ottawa's number 22, DB Pridham. What of the Wild? Keep an eye on their number 5, New Zealand international Michaela Moore. Big central defensive presence, but she's a real menace on set pieces, as we saw just last week against AFC Toronto, nipping in, staying onside, guiding it into the back of the net to give Calgary an early lead. Big presence defensively and offensively, Calgary's Michaela Moore. These teams have met each other 3 times so far this season, and so far Ottawa have held sway. They've beaten Calgary twice. The opening game finished in a goalless draw. So the Rapid will start as favourites, and Calgary have had problems in front of goal. They've scored just once since July the 19th. So we are all set for the lineups and the kickoff in the hot sunshine at TD Place Stadium. Ottawa against Calgary is next. Welcome back to TD Place Stadium in Ottawa. It's week 17 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Time to check the starting lineups, starting with the Ottawa Rapid. And head coach Katrina Peterson has made 2 changes from the team that drew 3-3 in Vancouver last weekend. In at right back is Kayla Adamek, and ahead of her on the right wing is the Norwegian flyer Johanna Friedland in a 4-3-3 formation. All chasing DB Pridham. Spoken about her. Will she be on target again today? It's entirely possible. Earlier in the day, I had a chance to talk to Ottawa's winger, Mel Forbes. Mel, big opportunity for you and your teammates today to gather 3 more points, really put pressure on the leaders. You must be really excited about this game against Calgary, a team you've done pretty well against before, haven't you?
Yeah, I think every game's important, and we always focus on the next one. So all eyes are ahead on Calgary going in today.
And you scored against Calgary earlier in the season. It's always a team effort. You start on the bench today, but we expect to see you. We've seen and admired what you've done in terms of assists with that forward line. There's always a likelihood, isn't there, that Ottawa is going to score like you did right at the end of last week's game.
Yeah, I think we're always looking to create up front and take our chances and maximize them. So hopefully, if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna make the most of it.
Mel, best of luck today and your team. We hope the sun shines on the Rapid.
Awesome, thank you.
Mel Forbes, who leads the NSL in assists with 5 starts on the bench today. Calgary lineup is unchanged from the team that was beaten at home by Toronto last weekend, but Lydia Bedford, their head coach, said it was their best team performance of the season. She has gone with exactly the same 11 in a 4-3-3 formation, which includes their 2 recent signings, Catherine Harvey and Joriam Borkham, to whom I had a chance to talk to a little earlier on before kickoff. Jorian, your first trip to Ottawa, I think, certainly in a Calgary jersey. This is your 3rd appearance, and I'm sure that you're blending in with the team. How excited are you for today's game in the sunshine?
You already answered it. Super excited in the sunshine. You know, ask me that same question in a couple months, my answer would be different. But yeah, again, coming out here hoping to get 3 points. We're building off momentum from our game against Toronto. I think we had a very strong performance. And again, hopefully we can carry that into today and take 3 points back home to Calgary.
Yeah, you had bucket loads of chances against Toronto. I watched the highlights. I was surprised, astonished you didn't get anything out of that game. But, I mean, as a striker, you must always back yourself that that first goal is going to come sooner rather than later, I guess.
Exactly. And, you know, after the first one comes, then the rest will start to flow. And, you know, the last, stoppage time chance that I had, oh my gosh, I think I would have ended my career if that went in. But like you said, have to have the mind of a goldfish when it comes to being a striker, and just know that as long as you're creating the chances, a goal is sure to follow. And hopefully I'll be able to get that first goal for the team today.
Well, Jorian, thanks for your time. We wish you and your teammates every success in the hot sunshine in Ottawa today. Thanks for your time.
Love the sunshine. Thanks.
Will she have the mind of a goldfish, as he says? Jorian Borkham from Scottsdale, Arizona, making her 3rd appearance. Lydia Bedford is very high on her ability and thinks when that first goal comes, the floodgates might open. As we get set for kickoff at TD Place Stadium. As I mentioned off the top, it's a very warm day, around 31 Celsius, and it'll be warmer down at field level. That will mean that there will be hydration breaks in both halves of this game. Melissa Dagenet, just saw her, and Steph Bukovic at the other end of the field, has played in the majority of Calgary's games. And it will be in the navy blue of Ottawa Rapid, the Korean Mina Lee, to get us underway in week 17 of the Northern Super League. And the Rapids attacking the goal to your left in this first half against the green and pink of the Calgary Wild, who have lost 6 of their last 7, but were encouraged by all the chances they created last weekend against AFC Toronto, despite the fact that it was a game that ended in yet another defeat for Bukovic and her players. Michaela Moore, we highlighted her, 3 goals so far this season for the New Zealand centre-back. She gets forward on those set pieces. She's really difficult to push off the ball. No doubt that Ottawa Rapid will start this game as favourites of victory. Will pull them within 1 point of second place Montreal after Toronto's victory in Laval earlier today. Now early ball looking for Pridham. DB Pridham up against Moore. Ball stays in play. Pridham might play. Provider looks all the way across goal. Floats across the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. Our referee is Anne-Marie Canwell from Quebec. Ali Martin is the 4th official. Unbeaten in their last 3, the Ottawa Rapid, 2 wins and a draw, just 1 loss in their last 5, and perhaps significantly just 1 home loss so far this season for the Rapid. Desiree Scott getting involved early. And turning is Mina Lee into the area. Lee battling for possession. Has she won herself a corner? She has. The Korean. Great technical skill, Mina Lee. Loves to turn away from trouble. Has wonderful ball skills. And the first real test defensively for the Calgary Wild. Megady Dirty Howard directing operations at the back. The Wild captain. As Johanna Friedland prepares to deliver the first corner of the contest from this near side. Can she find the head of Pridham? Plenty others up from the back towards the far post. Kayla Moore got there first to volley it clear, at least temporarily. Possibilities here for Calgary if they can corral the ball, which they do, with Catherine Harvey. Ball forward, and it'll run all the way through to Melissa Dagenet. Tall 6'1" goalkeeper, has 3 clean sheets so far this season. This is Jaleesa Harris, part of that central defensive partnership, alongside Liv Scott, who can play fullback. But the recall of Adamek means that Liv Scott will partner Harris in the centre of defence. Forward here, perhaps possibilities, and there's a real chance. A real chance. I think it fell to Doherty Howard from 8 yards out, but a volley just over the top of the crossbar. Sarita Thurton set her up, and the captain couldn't keep it down. But a real opportunity for the visitors inside the first 4 minutes. A little bit of a let-off defensively for the Ottawa Rapid. Desiree Scott, who recently celebrated her 38th birthday, still going strong. The veteran defensive midfielder. All those glory days with the Canadian women's national team as well. Straight out of play on this occasion from Grace Storey. And Chu Hyu Zhu, the other Korean in the team, employed at left back today, with Adamek on the right hand side of that back four. Stella Downing couldn't control it, and then given away in midfield, and Friedland trying to make her way forward, ran straight into Moore, who stood her ground to good effect. Back with Moore, chance to size up her opportunities, but Doherty Howard couldn't control it. Katrina Peterson, full of optimism, bearing in mind the history between these two teams. When I was talking to her yesterday, she says that's all well and good, but what happened in the past doesn't mean anything today. Pridham back to help out and get Ottawa moving on that right-hand side. Adamek striding forward with purpose. Friedland ahead of her. Pridham waiting in the area. It'll come back to Adamek. Friedland again, the offside flag's gone up. And a promising move comes to a premature end. Lydia Bedford has seen her team lose their fair share of games recently, 6 of the last 7. Just 1 win on the road for the Wild so far this season. Had real opportunities against the league-leading AFC Toronto last weekend, got ahead, but ultimately lost it 2-1. But she was very happy with the way her team played as a unit. Downing to the area, and behind Pridham, and behind for a goal kick. So that's part of the reason that Lydia Bedford has named an unchanged lineup today. She feels they were unlucky not to get something out of last week's game, to put it mildly. And despite their record so far this season against Ottawa, believes that their luck is moments away from turning. Moore up to halfway, over the head of Bochum. This is Grace Storey in her usual right back position. Now Bochum, first touch for the recently acquired striker. Too far ahead of Thurton, and it'll be a throw to the home team. It gives you an idea of what these teams have done recently. Just one loss in the last 5 for Ottawa, but 4 losses in the last 5 for the Wild. Indeed, 6 of the last 7 have ended in defeat for the visitors. They've had a good week training, came in on Thursday night, trained on the surface yesterday, and they're in good spirits. And an optimistic start indeed. That opportunity that fell to Doherty Howard just before the 4-minute mark might have given them a flying start. Moore tidies up at the back.
I was breaking up because of the way I was holding it. I was holding it like straight into me.
Looking forward again towards the edge of the area. In to break it up is Desiree Scott. Downing needs to be careful here, surrounded and eventually outnumbered. Puts her foot in again. Thurton and Downing. Well, great industry by Stella Downing. She was in a spot of bother there, but just kept plugging away. Harris back to Dagenet as Bochum closed in. She's quick. Ball played forward for Ellen Gibson, the Swedish midfielder. Safety first. Back to Dagenet. Adamek with the throw for Friedland. Good battling by Calgary, and they will win themselves a free kick inside their own half of the field. Storey on this near side has Moore as the last defender. Pridham watching her every move. And back for Steph Bukovic. Rolf Summer is Moore's regular central defensive partner. All out in the direction of Savitsky, and Gibson in quickly, diverting it for a throw on that far side. Yeah. Storey battling with possession for Pridham. Storey wins that little skirmish and back for Moore. And Rolf Summer has Ali Green, New Zealand, on that far side, the left-hand flank. Doherty Howard, as Calgary look to advance towards the Ottawa penalty area. Turning as Doherty Howard, balled into the area. Diverted away by Liv Scott. Here they come again, Calgary. Looking to press, trying to break up that Ottawa back line. Now Thurton. Rolf Summer and Green. Running into the area and trying to find Bochum. Just managed to poke it towards goal, but couldn't get the purchase on it to trouble Dagenet. But another promising move from Calgary Wild. That was Janaea Robertson, and the captain, Bochum, couldn't quite At the power on, she poked it towards the corner flag. Rolfsummer. Jackie Savitsky operating in that deeper lying midfield role, likes to get forward when she can. But so far, Calgary Wild more than holding their own. Borkham goes for goal first time. Pulled the trigger immediately, but it was straight into the arms of Dagenet. But it's a promising, confident start from the Calgary Wild. Probably had the better of it so far. Friedland and Adamek, that's dispossessed by midfield. Thurton will pick it up for the Wild. Just stops and finds her captain, Doherty Howard. Room on that left-hand side, 3 to aim for in the penalty area. If one of them can be found, it's a bouncing ball. Cleared temporarily. Back for Storey, who just delayed a little. And Pridham and Downing combine. Now a chance for the counter-attack perhaps. Doherty Howard. Accuracy wasn't quite there. But Calgary asking some questions of Ottawa defensively. It's Chu. Korean left back. Run was matched by Thurton. It'll be a throw to the home team. Chu. There's one goal and an assist so far this season from that left back position over the top of Borkham. Harris was uncertain, and Doherty Howard was there to make life as difficult as she could. Dagenet up towards halfway over the top of Mina Lee. Falls for Storey, and now Downing's got a little bit of room. Well, it was meant for Friedland, but the pass was inaccurate. Savitsky turning. And back for more. Rolfsummer, Dutch central defender, head up. Finds her captain accurately. Doherty Howard, first time ball forward. Looking for Harvey. But it'll roll out of play. Catherine, or Cat Harvey. Spelt some time down in Australia. Also has played in Turkey and Denmark. 28-year-old from Coquitlam. Dagenet, early ball for Gibson. Adamek turning. Friedland in support. With the 1-2. Looking for Pridham. Rolfsummer spotted the danger coming. But it's back with Friedland, and Adamek has continued her run. Can she pull it back? Was trying to. And in the end, it falls for Bukovic. One or two protests that the ball had gone out of play. Referee lets it go. Here's Thurton. Drifting into a midfield role. And indeed may have swapped flanks with Harvey. Doherty Howard and Thurton. Now some room on that left-hand side as Borkham makes her way into the area, as does the captain, Doherty Howard. Change of angle, perhaps. Doherty Howard comes and collects. Faced up by Gibson. Back with Sarita Thurton, but the offside flag has gone against Thurton. She's drifted beyond the last defender. It's Catherine Harvey, who we were mentioning just a moment ago. Her third appearance for the Calgary Wild. J.Y. Harris and Stella Downing keeping her place in the team. Cassie Scott, safety first. Pagenet pings it forward and finds Harris, makes her way forward, trying to play it in for Pridham, who will get there and will win the corner. At least she thinks she's won the corner. The referee doesn't agree. That's why she let it run beyond the goal line. Well, it seems fairly clear from there that the last touch came off a Calgary defender, and Pridham can't understand why a corner kick wasn't given. And looking at that on the replay, she certainly has a case. To throw to the Calgary Wild, to be taken by Grace Storey. But Ellen Gibson is in there to pick the pocket and plays it forward. Unfortunately, Pridham isn't in that area of the field. And it's back for Bukovic. And Rolfsummer, Mina Lee in close attendance, plays it for Green on that far side. Savitsky, under pressure, manages to deliver back to Storey. Forward early by Moore, but picked off comfortably. But Calgary have won it back in an interesting position. Walker makes her way forward. Harvey on that far side. Interesting ball into the area, just too much on it, too far ahead of Thurton to cause any worries, and behind for a goal kick. Scott for her goalkeeper, and from Dagenet to Harris, and now Gibson looking for that out ball, doesn't find it, only as far as Storey. It'll roll out of play for an Ottawa ball, despite the attentions of Janaea Robertson. Early ball from Chu. They want a handball, they're not going to get it. Pridham gets on with it. She'll play till the whistle. Was that a foul from Moore? It was, on Ottawa's leading scorer. And Michaela Moore's going to get a little talking to here from the referee. That'll do. Pridham was on her way, and there was no attempt to play the ball, in fairness, from Moore. Just stood her ground, and Pridham ran straight into her, bounced off her. And it is a free kick to the home team. Moore, by the way, has 4 yellow cards so far this season, in addition to her 3 goals. Downing, threatening, and then Mina didn't get hold of the shot. An obscured sight of goal, never got as far as Pridham. Moore gets it away from the danger zone, but here comes Desiree Scott. Pridham trying to turn. Surrounded by defenders, they know the danger that she poses. Downing, Pridham again. 1-2 Downing, she can curl them from here. Storey needs to deal with it, and it's going to fall to Stella Downing. But Downing couldn't keep it down. There was the opportunity, but skied it over Bukovic's bar. Morecambe couldn't control it. Here comes Liv Scott, well forward. Mina turning, finding a little bit of space. Downing is available. So is Desiree Scott. Lost her bearings just a moment as she was trying to find Downing. Stordy, another of the Calgary players on 4 yellows, by the way, Grace Stordy. I only mention it because another yellow card, 5 yellow cards, can lead to a 1-match suspension. Here is Mina. Downing, that's the ball meant inside the fullback, but Stordy was aware of the danger and brings it away for the Wild. Midway point of the first half, and Calgary giving as good as they're getting. Ottawa just beginning to build a platform into this game, beginning to threaten offensively. But it's been a bit of a chess match so far between these two teams. The 4th meeting of this inaugural Northern Super League season between Ottawa and Calgary. So far the previous 3 have gone the way generally of the Rapid, 2 wins and a draw against Calgary. But that's all history, and as you know, records are made to be broken. Harris a little unsure of her footing, but manages to find Chu. Forward for Downing, forced backwards. Aggressive press from Calgary, looking to keep Ottawa hemmed inside their own third of the field. Scott forward, but gave it away. Possibilities here, perhaps for Ottawa. Dirty Howard tried to curl one. It might fall kindly, but offside, as it ricocheted over to that far side. And Harvey just caught the wrong side of the last defender. Katrina Peterson, former Danish international. And looking for her team to press the advantage that they have had in previous games against the Wild. Storey well forward, battling with Desi Scott. It is going to be a corner. Desi Scott doesn't think so, but she's not going to change the assistant's mind. It will be a corner for the visitors. "188 appearances for her country, Desi Scott. Never scored an international goal, but she does have one for the Ottawa Rapid a couple of months back. Meanwhile, the other captain here is Maggie Doherty Howard, who tends to take the lion's share of the set pieces. And a first corner for Calgary. Can she pick out Borkham, or one of those players? A flattish delivery, it bounced off Borkham before she knew where it was, and cleared away from the immediate danger zone. And it was Harris who thumped it away. But it is a throw to the visitors, and Storey will start again. Down the line towards Sarita Thurton. Shu gives chase. Thurton might be in behind here. Thurton, can she find the ball towards the back post? Then Harvey couldn't control it. And behind for a goal kick. But there is an opportunity to see what Thurton can do. She's quick. She loves to get in behind. Ball was just a little deep, and it was an awkward height for Harvey. Thurton is a natural right footer. He's happy to take on defenders. Pace for pace. She does have that in the locker. Gibson volleys it forward towards Pridham, but it's coming back towards the Ottawa goal. And Scott deals with it defensively. She got a shove from Harvey and might win a free kick. A little bit unnecessary from Harvey on Scott. And it will indeed be a free kick for the Ottawa Rapid. Harris and Scott, Desi Scott. Bearing in mind there are two Scots on the Ottawa lineup. That's a little loose from Gibson and gives it away to Harvey. Rolfsummer and Michaela Moore cushioning the ball forward. Doherty Howard tried to flick it on, but there was nobody there to take advantage. That would be where Thurton might be, but not on this occasion. Genet bowls it out for Scott. And now Adamek. Mina Lee loves that quick turn, that pirouette. Creates space, and now there's space for Chu into the area. Chu inside the fullback, might go for goal. Straight into the legs of Michaela Moore. And now Thurton in the other direction for the Wild. Past one, but not past Desi Scott. Listen to the applause for Desi Scott. If ever there was a question, I don't think there has been, that she was a wholehearted competitor. There was a visual demonstration right there. Chu knocks it forward, looking for Pridham. Is she onside? DB Pridham. Can she finish it off? Oh, off the line. Goal saving clearance. And DB Pridham is denied. That's as close as they've come. Mina Lee Pridham beat the goalkeeper, but not the last defender. And they managed to scramble it clear. That's as close as either team have come. And Pridham must have thought that was goal number 13 of the season. Not quite so fast. Some last-ditch defending saves the Wild, at least for the time being. Doherty Howard. Thurton onside. No, that's not onside. And I think it was Savitsky. Indeed it was. Flag was up quickly. So had the ball ended up in the back of the net, it would not have counted. As we approach the 30-minute mark, and as I mentioned off the top, it is a warm, not warm, it's a hot day in Ottawa. And so we reach the first hydration break, which will last a minute or 90 seconds. The hydration break is presented by Powerade, as both teams take on some refreshment. And the Humidex, I'm told, is approaching 38 Celsius at field level. So yeah, hats and baseball caps very much the order of the day. As the fans and the players, well, so far so good, are enjoying what they're seeing. Warm entertainment for both teams. Chance to reflect on the first half an hour. Well, there have been chances at both ends. None more so than that breakaway for the Ottawa Rapid just a couple of minutes ago. And their leading scorer, DB Pridham, beat the goalkeeper, but not some goal line heroics from her defenders to keep the Rapid at bay for the time being. And Calgary have worked really very hard and very diligently in this first half an hour. They've had a couple of half chances themselves. Doherty Howard and Jorian Borkham making their presence felt in the Ottawa Rapid penalty area. But so far it is a blank score sheet. But you get the feeling that that opening goal, and maybe it'll be Borkham's, is not too far away. Borkham had a absolutely outstanding season in Scotland a year or so ago with Hibernian, where she scored 25 goals in just 32 appearances. So there's no question there's some golden boots there. If she can get that first one, that'll settle her down and get that monkey off her back. Michaela Moore there, and her central defensive partner, Michael Rolfsummer. So both teams have taken on some hydration and are ready to go again for the last 15 minutes of the first half. Those couple of minutes, of course, will be added on as stoppage time at the end of this first 45. Home fans finding their voice as Stordy flings it down the line for Thurton. Downing combining with Shu, but out of play again. Another Ottawa ball on halfway for the Korean. It is week 17 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. Whatever happens in this game, by the way, I can tell you that neither team will actually change their positions, but it might change their outlooks. Ottawa Rapid know a victory will keep them third, but it will also elevate them to with just a single point of the Montreal Roses, following Montreal's earlier loss to AFC Toronto in Laval. If Calgary can upset the form book and get their first ever victory over Ottawa, they will stay fifth, but they'll move within a couple of points of Vancouver, who occupy that fourth and final playoff spot or semi-final spot for the postseason playoffs. I was talking to Lydia Bedford yesterday, there she is, and I said to her, do you feel that we're getting into that kind of must-win territory after recent results, that if you lose another one or two, you'll get cut adrift? And she says, no, not really. Not really. No panic, she says. You know, there's nothing to say we can't win 5 or 6 or 7 in a row. And she's absolutely right. Just trust the process, as they say. Here is Chu. Gave it away. Calgary over the top of Bochum. And all the way through to Melissa Dagenet. Liv Scott takes over for Ottawa. And Harris, first time forward, finds Chu. Downing, chance for her to get going. Moore got a second bite successfully. It was a clean tackle. Now Doherty Howard, captain for Calgary, just a little short. Friedland and Adamek operating on that right-hand side for Ottawa. Mina trying to get the better of Rolfsummer, unsuccessfully. Bukovic. Savitsky. And Rolfsummer for Robertson. And a little bit of a coming together. Gibson takes the free kick quickly. Finds its way to the Norwegian. Friedland, Adamek on the overlap. Looking for that telling pass. Friedland in the area. Looking to turn is Pridham. More an important foot in, but it's not away yet. Adamek towards the back post and stretching successfully. Bukovic rolls it out, but gives it away. And that's a late tackle from Storey on Shu. It might lead to a yellow card. Ball was gone. Storey knew it and brought down her opponent. Storey had to do what she had to do because she knew the ball was gone and Shu might have been on her way. The referee has given Grace Storey the benefit of the doubt. No yellow card shown, but if she does it again, I'm sure the referee will reach for her pocket. So Chu, who is the victim of the challenge, will take the free kick for the Ottawa Rapid, looking to get their noses in front before half-time. repelled successfully for the time being. Back in by Friedland. Desi Scott making a nuisance of herself and finally away from the danger zone. Nobody in a great hurry, reminding you that it is very, very warm down at field level. Adamek just trying to conserve some energy. Adamek, that's clever. Friedland ahead of her again. Adamek on the overlap. Friedland comes infield. Now Pridham, dangerous. Pridham goes for goal. Left-footed. Couple of yards wide. Haven't seen the best of her yet, but her record speaks for itself. Friedland with the build-up. Van Pridham pulled the trigger from 19 yards, but couldn't get the curl into that far corner. Moore chips it forward. Looking for her captain, but surrounded and dispossessed, and Desi Scott back for Harris. 7 minutes to half-time plus stoppage time. Harris gave it away to Savitsky. Bochum gets a second chance perhaps. Rolfsson. Friedland was making a nuisance of herself. There's room on that far side. Adamek scampering after it. Shielded by Green. Adamek looking to find an angle for the cross. Lee, clever turn. Lee goes for goal. Fingertip save from Bukovic. And Ottawa are getting closer. Korean found the room. Shot was on target. It needed the save from the Calgary goalkeeper. Will be another corner for the Rapid. Mina almost opened the scoring. They'll have another opportunity from Friedland's corner. Referee is just going to delay proceedings for a moment. Some pushing and shoving in and around the penalty spot. Referee don't want a word with the protagonists. Now Friedland will deliver. Useful. Rolfsson gets ahead on it. And away by Dirty Howard. Savitsky will give chase, but Dagenet under no pressure. Has all the time in the world to pick out a teammate. Looking for Friedland just over her head. And a Calgary throw. Ali Green, born in Sydney, Australia, but represents New Zealand at international level. Played at the Paris Olympics in 2024. Liv Scott for Gibson, Swedish midfielder, and Desi Scott for Liv Scott, who returns the favour. Touch round the corner, Savitsky spotted it coming, makes her way forward. Dirty Howard, Bochum, is she onside? She is. No, referee stopped it. Flag took its time coming. Bochum looks a little perplexed, but at first glance, my thought, is she offside? Flag eventually came up. Chu on the charge. Still going, Chu. This is Friedland. Friedland might take on the shot. Didn't get the opportunity to do so. It'll fall for Downing. Downing thinking about it. Tried to curl one into the top corner, but it was always rising. Oh, might have got a deflection. Referee is pointing to the corner flag. Let's have another look. It's Downing's shot. Must have just taken a nick off someone. Yep, it sure did. Which helped it over the crossbar. And it'll be another opportunity from the set piece for the Rapid as we inch towards half-time in the heat in the nation's capital. 18 is Liv Scott. Pridham and Mina plotting a route to goal from Friedland's corner towards the back post. There was a coming together there between Pridham and I think it might have been Robertson. Referee unimpressed, and it rolls out of play for a Calgary throw on the far side. Ali Green will take it. Up the line it goes. Jorian Bochum back to goal. Dispossessed Gibson. Mina trying to find Downing, who's looking to turn. Almost outnumbered. Look at the tenacity of Stella Downing. Doherty Howard calming things down for Calgary. Downing again, biting away. Thurton knocks it up the line. Did it stay in? It did. Storley. Fouled by Harris. And left on her haunches. Moore wants to get on with it quickly. Feeds Storey. Doherty Howard. Now Harvey. Harvey with the shot, but it was always wide of Dagenet's goal. Decided to take the shot on rather than cut it back. Just over a minute until half-time. Maybe there's going to be a couple of minutes added on for that hydration break. I'm hearing there will be a minimum of 3 minutes to add. Bochum blocking the route forward for Ottawa. Adamek will take the throw on that far side. Bochum, clever touch for Doherty Howard as Bochum makes her way towards the penalty area. Doherty Howard can't retain possession. Mina looking for the early ball for Pridham. There might be danger here. Pridham one-on-one. Can she get into the area? She can't. Rolfsson and Moore did just enough, and Pridham is left on her backside. They have no doubt of the danger that Pridham presents. Bochum trying to establish a similar reputation at the other end of the field. This is Green, watched by Friedland. Minimum of 3 minutes to add at the end of this first half. Still the score sheet is blank. Perfect time for either team to score. Get yourself a goal in front and enjoy the half-time break. Harris diverts the header back to Dagenet. Harris and Scott. Harris looking for that early ball forward. Has Pridham time to run? She hasn't. Another offside flag. Just going to have a look at that coming together between Rolfsson and Pridham. Well, shoulder to shoulder, and then Moore tidied up. Referee decided there was nothing wrong with the challenge from the Dutch defender. And Rolfsson was the beneficiary. This is Storey, minute and a half into stoppage time at the end of a hot first half. Bochum, it'll let it run through. Scott shielding the ball with her body as Dagenet advanced to cover up. Harris and Desi Scott. Both teams and players just trying to conserve their energy as we inch our way towards the half-time whistle. Scott away from Harvey. Adamek. Friedland looking to turn. Wins the throw. Dagenet for Harris. It hasn't been a first half of end-to-end chances, but there have been opportunities in front of both goals. Not surprisingly, the best of the bunch fell to DB Pridham after she rounded the goalkeeper. But some goal line heroics from her defenders prevented Ottawa getting themselves in front. As the referee blows for half-time. We've reached the end of the first 45, and Dagenet and Bukovic both have zeros against their name. They'll be happy with the state of play. But Calgary themselves have carved out one or two chances for Harvey and Dirty Howard and Jorian Bokum as well. Mina also looked dangerous. Got an important save out of Steph Bukovic. Little bit of a chess match in the first 45 on a hot day in the capital. Half-time at TD Place. Ottawa Rapid 0, the Calgary Wild 0. It's the goal we've been waiting for.
That is a highlight we will see over and over and over again. Saki! That is absolutely world class. Oh my goodness.
A very warm welcome back to TD Place Stadium in Ottawa, in our nation's capital. It's week 17 of the Northern Super League in the hot sunshine. We are watching the Ottawa Rapid starting the day in third place against the Calgary Wild, looking for their first win in their last 4 outings. Half-time, it hasn't produced a goal, but my word, there have been chances at both ends in this first half. I'll walk you through some of those highlights. Ottawa in the dark blue jerseys. And Calgary Wild have made a good start to this first 45. Jody Howard, early chance from 8 yards out, but blasted it over the top. Jody Howard involved again in this build-up, but Borkham couldn't get the purchase on it to trouble Dagenet. But more chances for Calgary. This time Borkham went for goal first time, but only found Dagenet. At the other end of the field, Adamek, long ball forward. Stella Downing from Mina Lee. Again, couldn't get the power on the shot to trouble Bukovic. Then Chu into the area, took the shot on, took a big deflection from Michaela Moore. More opportunities on the way for Ottawa. This one, Mina Lee, and this was the best chance of all. DB Pridham in behind, beat the goalkeeper, but it was Ali Moore on the goal line to prevent DB getting her 13th goal of the season. Another big chance at the end of the half. Mina Lee, great turn, and forced a really good save out of Steph Bukovic to keep the score sheet blank at half time. So chances at both ends, as you can see, 7 shots to 6 in favour of the home team. They've had the lion's share of position and shots on target, but don't count out the Calgary Wild looking for their first ever victory against the Ottawa Rapid. But 0-0 at half-time, all to play for in the second half. TD Place Stadium, where the concessions are doing a roaring trade. Esther Okoronkwo is back in the Northern Super League with AFC Toronto. More on her performances recently when we come back.
Concept or idea on a napkin, but 2 years ago it didn't even have teams. Looking for the strike. Oh, now that's the finish. Northern Super League. It will transcend the sport, the Northern Super League, for years to come.
McKenna and Amy Walsh with you, and a massive victory recently for AFC Toronto's Esther Okoronkwo. She helped Nigeria win the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, a come-from-behind win against Morocco. 1 goal, 2 assists for her. What stood out to you about her performance?
I think it was how authoritative she was. She came on and she grabbed this game by the scruff of its neck and led this team to a comeback. They were trailing 2-0 after the first half. And Esther Okoronkwo, who played the entirety of the group stages coming on as a substitute, started as soon as her team made it through the knockouts, and she just grabbed this team to its victory and led the way, not only in scoring herself, but playing provider and just being an absolutely key player and player of the match for Nigeria on their way to the WAFCON title.
You have to think this gives her some major swagger. I mean, this image says it all. Look at 2 trophies, the shades. That's the swagger of a champion right there.
It is, and if anybody follows Esther Okoronkwo on socials, you know that she has that swagger, she has that kind of vibe about her. So I think the performance just lived up to the tone that she sets herself on her socials.
She's an aura farmer from the start.
Yeah, there we go.
Listen, we learned something about Esther Okoronkwo during this tournament. She's not just a scorer, she's a bit of a set piece specialist.
I know, who knew? We knew she had a wand of a left foot. We've seen it in NSL, scoring from distance, scoring from close range. But the way that she was teeing up her teammates here, whether she was from a more central area or off in the channel, she just had a way where she was just manipulating the ball, just kind of caressing it, coaxing it in, whipping it in with pace, or maybe like a more nuanced finish. But she had everything in her locker as the set piece specialist. So maybe for AFC Toronto and Marko Milanovic, maybe this is a good headache for AFC, where they've usually got Colby Barnett. We know she's got the great left foot. You've got Emma Regan as a national team stalwart in there. Now you've got Esther Okoronkwo, who's not only scoring the goals, but can set them up too.
Some impressive statistics here. 6 games, 2 goals, 6 assists, an outstanding performance from her. And just great for the league too, Amy, to have a player of this pedigree in the NSL.
It brings more eyeballs to this league, more eyeballs to Esther Okoronkwo and AFC Toronto. But I think more importantly, in its inaugural year, it's putting this league, it's putting the world on notice, and it's putting the league in the shop window.
A fantastic achievement. Congratulations to Esther Okoronkwo.
Esther Okoronkwo, who was in the thick of it today. On her return to NSL action, she provided an assist for AFC Toronto's 2-1 victory in Montreal, which establishes a 6-point lead at the top of the NSL standings. Now let's recap Super Saturday from last weekend. It's back to Kate and Amy.
I'm Kate McKenna, she's Amy Walsh, and a successful Super Saturday version 1. 3 matches, all 6 teams in action. And let's go through these, starting game number 1 at the Wanderers grounds. Halifax hosting Montreal. Montreal, the heavy favorites in this one, but it ends in a 1-1 draw.
And Halifax so far has had Montreal's number, but early on, it was again, just as it played out last week, it was Montreal getting on the board early on, a great slip pass through by Tanya Boychuk, and a great celebration again, which is just par for the course for NSL. And then Karima Lemire, who was spraying the ball all over the pitch for the Halifax Tides, a glaring, awful error by Karpenko coming out, mistiming that, and Amanda Allen, in only her second match for the Tides, opens her account in NSL.
Well, let's go to game number 2. It was at McMahon, AFC Toronto visiting the Calgary Wild, and Calgary opens the scoring, but the lead doesn't last.
Maggie the Mouse, as Lydia Bedford would say. Maggie Doherty-Howard, who is excellent on set pieces, and Michaela Moore, who is often the target, doesn't miss there and opens things early on for the Calgary Wild, but a poor clearance from Green drops the ball right to Kaylee Hunter, and she is not going to miss from there, and up to 8 now on the year for Hunter. And a great bit of footwork here in combination play. And Emma Regan, we've seen it before with the national team, but also for AFC Toronto, right from the D, screamer. And
Just
that again,
banger.
On brand for NSL.
On brand, no kidding. You know what else was on brand? An exciting, thrilling match, the 3rd game of the day. This was in Vancouver at Swangard. A 3-3 tie, but goals back and forth. 4 goals in that first half, 2 more in the second half, teams trading leads, and Ottawa tying it up in the 92nd minute.
And goals again, leading scorer DB Pridham, who is being known for scoring goals in a myriad of ways, but also celebrations in a myriad of ways, and spurred on by Desi Scott, who partakes in the festivities as well. And then Quinn with perhaps their best performance for me of the year, other than that inaugural match. Great little layoff from Holly Ward, opens up their body, finds the far peg. And again, as was the theme, Ottawa answers, and Chu with a great little bit of individual skill, cuts the ball inside, stays with it, and beats the goalkeeper to the near post. And then here, what you don't want to see from a goalkeeper, lots of options, but plays it into pressure. And then Lisa Petruski pounces, and that is one perhaps that Ottawa would have wanted back because on Holly Ward here, we've seen scoring boots firmly on in NSL. Great little touch, and then manages to beat Dajna at the near post. Like you said, Kate, goalkeeper never want to be beaten at the near post. And this was the curveball thrown to everybody. Looks like Vancouver is going to run away with it after a dominant second half. That was all Vancouver. Field firmly tilted towards Dajna, but Adamek bowls over Weller and bowls over the fans at Swangard Stadium, because instead of taking all 3 points for Vancouver, it's a share of the points, and it feels like a victory for Ottawa on the day.
And certainly doesn't feel very good for the Vancouver Rise at all, who thought they had this one in the bag. But listen, Super Saturday lived up to its name. We had an extra time goal, we had a surprising result, and we had some outstanding celebrations.
Second Super Saturday in a row. We are at the midway points of these 3 games. Earlier in Laval, AFC Toronto stretched their lead at the top of the table, beating the Montreal Roses by 2-1. Later, we'll be in the Maritimes for the meeting of the Halifax Tides and the Vancouver Rise, a coast-to-coast battle at the Wanderers grounds. That is at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific on TSN+. We are waiting for the return of the teams at TD Place Stadium in Ottawa. Week 17 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Ottawa and Calgary tied 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, call it what you will, at half-time. And there may be a change for Calgary Wild, and Maddie Wilson is going to come on at the start of this second half, wearing 14, and she's going to replace Janaea Robertson in midfield. So personnel change in the heart of midfield for the Wild. Maddie Wilson, 24-year-old from London, Ontario. Ottawa substitutes coming on as well, as Florence Belzile is coming on, as you can see, to partner DB Pridham up front. So chance for Florence Belzile. We're also going to see the introduction of Suzanne Haaland, generally a central defender from Norway, and she is going to come on at the start of this second half. So 2 changes for the Rapid and just 1 for Calgary Wild. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is a very hot day. Temperatures well into the 30s in Ottawa. So for the players and some of the fans as well, it's a matter of managing their energy and their minutes as we get set for the start of the second half at TD Place Stadium. Ottawa with a chance to pull within 1 point of the Montreal Roses. Really put the pressure on the top 2. If they can win this one, they're reminding you they've never lost to the Calgary Wild in 3 previous meetings. The Wild, of course, looking to move towards the top 4. Victory today would move them at least temporarily within a couple of points of the Vancouver Rise, who we mentioned a little earlier, play in Halifax later. DB Pridham had that big chance in the first half, and when she's in on goal, her goals per game ratio this season suggests she generally finishes what she started, but not on this occasion, at least not yet. So we began the first half 0-0. We begin the second half in a similar state of play, with the Ottawa Rapid in the dark blue jerseys attacking the goal to your right in this second half against the light blue and pink, the Calgary Wild. Just confirmation of those changes. Haaland on for Desiree Scott at half time. Maddie Wilson replacing Janaea Robertson for the Calgary Wild. This is Savitsky, this is Borkham. That's a dangerous ball into the area. In the end, it was comfortable for Dagenet, but Maggie Doherty-Howard just had one opportunity to get her shot away, and might have taken a tumble. Just a word from the referee, make sure she's okay to continue. Harris and Dagenet. And first touch for Suzanne Harland, wearing 2 for the Ottawa Rapid. Clever turn by Doherty-Howard, the Calgary captain, looking to thread the needle. Oh, there's real problems here. Well, there would have been, but the offside flag was up quickly as Borkham, and for that matter, Maddie Wilson, almost collided with each other. Doherty-Howard just delayed the pass, and by the time she made it, those ahead of her were beyond the last defender. There's been a number of offside decisions at both ends of the field in the first half, and that trend looks set to continue. Chu Hyo-ju, Korean left back. Down the line it goes. Michaela Moore stretches out a big right foot and volleys it into touch, just. Well, no goals in that first half, but if you were with us at half time, you'll have seen that both teams created credible chances. Doherty-Howard often the architect, looking for Borkham, the recently signed player. That'll run all the way through for Dagenet, who decided to clear out. Wasn't sure whether it was going to be deemed a back pass, so wasn't taking any chances. Maggie Doherty-Howard dispossessed this time. Mina Lee. Alan Gibson takes over. Liv Scott has moved into a more central midfield position following the departure of Desi Scott to accommodate Harland at the back. This is Harris, looking to spread it wide for Kayla Adamek. Ahead of her, Stella Downing, who's moved over to this right-hand side at the start of the second half. So despite that stalemate at the break, I get the feeling that that opening goal might not be too far away, and I wouldn't want to guess at which end it might come, despite Ottawa's historical supremacy over Calgary. Harris purposely forward. Turning is Florence Belzile, wearing 10 and a half-time substitute for the Rapid. Mina Lee manages to get it back for Liv Scott. Touch round the corner. Will it reach Adamek? It does. Downing, clever. Nutmegs Ali Green. Ball across the face of goal, and then the shot from Adamek, left-footed, couple of feet wide. Took it first time, but just dragged it wide of Bukovic's near post. Clever stuff from Stella Downing to set up that attack. And then it was Adamek, as I mentioned, with the final shot, but wide of the target. Moore brings it forward. Story likes to get forward. She's got time to pick out a teammate. Finds Borkham. Story forced backwards. Belzile tracking her run. Thurton And it will be a corner. Thurton is quick. Saw a glimpse or two of that in the first half. Likes to take on a fullback, use her pace and her skill, and then drag it back from the byline. She can be a real danger, a real handful in opposition penalty areas. Maggie Doherty-Howard is poised to take the resulting corner. 6 minutes gone. Is this the moment perhaps for Calgary? It could be. Borkham, in the end, forced wide. Who got the final touch? Didn't get a deflection, I don't think. But some uneasy moments inside that penalty area. Pridham was back doing some defending. Adamek pokes it forward, trying to find Downing in field. And then Rolfsema is being pursued by Stella Downing, forcing something of an error from Bukovic, who was compelled to clear it quickly. Downing again, battling with Rolfsema, who sees it behind safely for a goal kick for the Calgary Wild. If you don't know the backstory of Steph Bukovic, well, I won't go into too much detail, but away from this form of soccer or football, she's led a very different life as a freestyle footballer. Sure, if you Google her videos, you can find out something about her tricks and just what she's capable of in a confined space, so to speak. Eight minutes gone in the second half. Still waiting for that opening goal. Moore will leave it this time for Bukovic. Looking right, trying to find Thurton. Harris with the header forward. And then the long ball, Belzile giving chase, and Moore across to cover. Chu with the throw. The fans try to urge their team on in search of that opening goal. Thurton back doing some defending, and there's more defending to come for the Wild, who stuck to their guns. They've been very disciplined defensively. Kayla Moore amongst those directing operations at the back. Referee will just hold up proceedings for a moment. More activity on the Ottawa bench. I'll come to that in a moment after Chu delivers right-footed, plenty of air underneath it. Dealt with by Wilson, but not yet away. Gibson back into the area, possibilities, but the header in the end is tame and well wide. Liv Scott with the header. Score a winning goal, if I remember correctly, against the Halifax Tides a couple of weeks ago. Downing again in to impede Calgary's progress. Green with that memorable goal line clearance to deny Pridham midway through the first half. Now, do they want to make a change here? They're hearing that Ottawa are thinking of bringing on Mel Forbes, who we spoke to pre-game. but not yet. Belzile trying to force her way forward. Borkham and Adamek came together there. And referee is going to have a word with the American striker. Just be careful. Watch what you're doing. Well, there was certainly a push in the back, or so it seemed. Although Borkham seems to suggest that Borkham was backing into her. Anyway, Ottawa free kick. Adamek again. Away from Harvey. Downing looking to turn. Got wrapped on the shin. But no foul. Green with the throw for Calgary. Borkham looking for the back heel, appealing to the referee. And this time the Wild do win themselves a free kick. Rolfsummer for Moore. Forced to play it forward. Thurton controlled it nicely. Savitsky ran straight into Gibson, but it'll find its way for Sarita Thurton now. Can she use her pace on that far side? Here's the overlap from Maggie Doherty-Howard. And the shot in the end again is a little tame. I think it may have been Maddie Wilson with the volley. Genet was not called into action. Now here comes the substitution. And Mel Forbes is on to replace her teammate Stella Downing. Predictable substitute. Wearing 21, Mel Forbes from Santa Monica, California. And holds the lead in assists so far this season in the NSL, a goal and 5 assists for Forbes. So maybe that will be the key to unlocking the back line. She is at the bottom of your screen wearing 21. Pridham, of course, gets all the praise and the plaudits for all the goals. But it's not a one-person team. Somebody has to set her up on regular occasions, and here is Forbes. Early ball for Mina. Mina continues to run, couldn't quite control it on the edge of the area, and Rolfsummer pokes it away. Not far, only as far as Chu on that far side, to try and keep the pressure on. Belzile turning, looking for an option, finds one in Adamek. Adamek and Belzile looking for the 1-2. It'll find its way to Mel Forbes. Is she going to get a corner there, or did she get the final touch? I rather think she did. Trying to sell it to the assistant, who was having none of it. And it will indeed be a goal kick. Approaching the hour mark. Ottawa Rapid, frustrated by a well-organised Calgary Wild. Here's Ellen Gibson, the Swedish midfielder. Forward by Haaland, in a hurry. Now a chance perhaps for Harvey to knock one forward. Doherty-Howard getting involved as so often she does. And Wilson trying to send Borkham away. Chance to recycle. But into touch. And a turnover in favour of Ottawa. More changes on the way. And Christy Gray is on the way for the Calgary Wild and replaces Kat Harvey. So an hour gone. 2 changes for the visitors, 3 for the Ottawa Rapid. Both searching for that elusive breakthrough. Christy Gray can play either as a winger or up front. Has a couple of yellow cards. She's from Vancouver originally and attended Queen's University back in the day. Bukovic taking no chances. Clears it up towards halfway over the top of Adamek. Borkham looking to turn. Took a tumble from Adamek. And another free kick for the Wild. It's all a little bit scrappy. Adamek retreats from the scene of the crime. Rolf Simmer will take charge for Calgary. Short for Green. Backwards to go forwards. Vukovic playing sweeper keeper. Doherty Howard. Only as far as Harris. Gibson looking to turn. Adamek and Scott. Possession stats squarely in favour of the home team, almost by 2-1. But the real stat that matters is the one at the top of your screen. Still deadlocked in Ottawa. Harris short for Gibson. Now the turn. Rolf Simmer in the way. Mina spread wide for Adamek. Maybe this is the opportunity. It's too close to the goalkeeper. And Bukovic plucks it out of the sky and quickly gets on with it. Wants to get that counter-attack moving. Thurton. Doherty Howard. Shielding the body. And Belzile takes it away. Kept in by Chu. And now Mina. Belzile making the run on the left. Mina might go alone. Tried to play it off for Pridham. Not quite on the same page. All the way back for Harris. Mina again, but too far forward. And again, Bukovic not under pressure. Green looking to turn away from trouble. Forbes, fresh legs, did enough to win the throw. And put Green under pressure. Pridham takes a tumble. Referee sees nothing wrong. Plays the advantage. Ottawa still has the ball. Forbes cross the edge of the penalty area. That's dangerous. Maybe this is the moment. Gibson goes down in a heap. They still haven't got rid of it. Chu carries it on, and that'll run behind. And finally, the danger passes for Calgary, and they can breathe again. Struggle to clear their lines. Forbes. That's the sort of ball that Pridham feasts on. But at that moment in time, she was still picking herself up. Conversations on the visitors' bench. Shall we make some more changes? Are we happy as we are? Decisions, decisions. Adamek with the header for Ottawa. Liv Scott with the fair tackle at the expense of a throw. Green in no great hurry. She and her defensive partners are doing their job, and they've worked really hard in oppressive conditions in the capital. Borkham wins the battle there. Gets the benefit of a free kick. Adamek doesn't think she did much wrong. Shrug of the shoulders. But back and face, as they say. Referee's decision is always final. So Ali Green, will she go square to her captain, or try and curl it towards the edge of the area? Well, in the end she did neither, but it ricochets for more. A little hurried from Mel Forbes there. She had more time than she needed, but great tenacity to win it back from Green. And then Gibson trying to spread it, but only found Thurton on that far side. Thurton goes down and Chu is penalised. Was there a tug of the shirt there? There's a yellow card. There was a tug of the shirt from the Korean. And Chu Hyo-ju is the recipient of the first yellow card of the game, her third of the season. Been one or two niggly fouls in and around, and as we enter the final quarter of the contest, the referee is beginning to run out of patience with one or two. Doherty Howard, useful ball in. Liv Scott was there first, I believe, and then that's unfortunate. It'll run away from Gray and harmlessly behind for a goal kick for the Ottawa Rapid, who must have thought they'd be a goal or two to the good by now. They've had 2 or 3 really good chances. Pridham, goal line clearance. Oh my goodness me. Oh, well, that's got to be a penalty. It's got to be a penalty. Belzile. In fact, it's Olivia Scott who will get the yellow card. Took her eye off the ball, lost the ball. And it is a penalty for the Calgary Wild. There was the shove, pull on the shirt. Liv Scott on Maddie Wilson, and you can't complain about that. Liv Scott given a yellow card, rightly so. And now there's a lot of pointing and protesting. And Maggie Doherty Howard spots the ball down. The Calgary Wild captain taking responsibility from 12 yards. Doherty Howard with a huge opportunity for the Calgary Wild in Ottawa, and saved. Mel Dagenet down to her right hand side. Manages to push it behind for a corner. It was close to the goalkeeper, close enough. Dagenet guessed right, went right, and powered it round for a corner kick. And the opportunity and the moments that Calgary were praying for has come and gone in the blink of an eye. More defending to do though. Moore was up, but unfairly. A couple of Ottawa players end up on the deck. And the Ottawa Rapid have dodged a speeding bullet, and she knows it, and they all know it. And Dagenet spread her 6'1" frame to get smartly down and frustrates the Calgary captain. Well, you wonder whether they'll get a better chance. Doherty Howard tried to place it into the corner, but it was just too close to the goalkeeper. Some fancy footwork from Rolfsummer. Liv Scott playing it forward for Mina, and now Mel Forbes, the substitute. Forbes trying to go alone. Moore temporarily away from danger. Forbes battling again and wins the throw. Tenacious competitor, Mel Forbes. Would have been disappointed that she wasn't included in the starting lineup and wants to prove to her coach that she should have been. That was the initial shot, which more cleared, but then again, Forbes was back for more. That ball was in motion. Referee will have it back to have that free kick retaken. Well, you just never know in this game. Golden, gilt-edged opportunity for the Calgary Wild to take an important, perhaps critical lead. But Maggie Doherty-Howard could not beat Melissa Dagenet from 12 yards. You just never know in this game, and that's why we watch. Green with the free kick. Up against Forbes, rides the challenge, does Green. Running towards dark blue jerseys. Rolfsson in quickly to stop the counter-attack. Doherty-Howard out to this near side, and that's too close to the goalkeeper from Christy Gray. And Dagenet will bowl it out to Chu on that far side. Still full of running, the Korean. Tracked by Thurton. Gibson now. Back for Chu. Haaland. Potentially dangerous. They've managed to get themselves out of any potential trouble. And back with Harris. Mina looking for the ball. This could be the moment. DB Pridham in behind. And Bukovic was brave, and she had to be, in truth, and I think Pridham knows it. She just overran it with her second touch. Just gave Bukovic just there and gave Bukovic the time to come out and make herself as big as she could be. And meanwhile, at the other end, big save. Christy Gray on target. And Dagenet fisting it away over to the far side. And there's action at both ends of the fields, and now there's going to be substitutions. This was the opportunity for Gray, trying to curl it into the top corner. A little too close to the goalkeeper, but it needed the save. More changes coming, it would appear. At least I think that was the signal. Sarita Thurton. Talia White is on for Calgary, and I think I heard Sonia O'Neill's name mentioned there as well, as Ali Green takes a rest. There we go, Ali Green, Talia White, and Thurton gives way indeed to Sonia O'Neill. So Calgary Wild have used 4 of their 5 substitutes by my reckoning. Ottawa still have a couple of changes to make if necessary. It wouldn't surprise us in these oppressive conditions. Catherine Peterson talking to me yesterday about conserving energy for the players. And the change indeed is coming. Emily Amano is finally fit again and gets her chance to replace Liv Scott. And just before Emily Amano takes the field, the referee decides that this would be an appropriate moment for the hydration break in the second half, reminding you that temperatures still well into the 30s at TD Place. The hydration break is brought to you by Powerade, as both teams take a 90-second breather, take on some refreshment. Still we await the first goal. Well, we've had moments in this second half, none more so than the penalty awarded to Calgary Wild But their captain, Maggie Doherty-Howard, couldn't convert from 12 yards. Forced a smart save from Melissa Dagenet. Saved the penalty, looking for her 4th clean sheet of the season. And then just a couple of moments ago, at the other end of the field, DB Pridham was put through onside, but her first touch just let her down a moment and let Steph Bukovic come out and dive at her feet. You've got to be brave as a goalkeeper. You can't shirk those sort of challenges. Talia White, the Leicester substitute for the Calgary Wild. It is week 17 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Jorian Borkham still looking for her first goal in Calgary colours. Will it come in Ottawa? Is there another change in the narrative? Borkham towards the back post. There's possibilities here. It's gone in, I think. It has. It is the opening goal this time. And I think perhaps Jackie Savitsky has got it at the back post. Borkham with the header. And Savitsky, with 13 minutes to go, has broken the deadlock. Having seen the penalty saved, the Wild have finally got themselves in front. And Jackie Savitsky, with her first NSL goal, gives Calgary a crucial lead in the capital. There was the build-up. Savitsky unmarked on the volley. Story. And the header to the back post came, well, she almost scored twice. Indeed, the first effort came crashing back down off the crossbar. It was already over the line, but Savitsky headed it in the second time. She needn't have done that. But her first NSL goal. Well, not too many would have predicted this scoreline with 12 minutes to go at the start of play. And credits to Calgary. They frustrated the high-flying Rapid. And now they've gone one better and scored a really important goal on opposition turf. And now this changes the narrative. I mentioned in the pre-game that Calgary have never beaten Ottawa, home or away. Only one road win this season for the Wild, but that could all change if they can hold their nerve for another 15 minutes or so. And I'm sure Jorian Borkham will be credited with the assist for Savitsky's goal. It was her header back across that allowed Savitsky to nip in unmarked and volley it in off the crossbar. Borkham makes the run. Savitsky again making her way forward. It was Doherty-Howard. And there will be no clean sheet this week for Dagenet, despite saving the penalty. DB Pridham, still a threat, still a menace. Calgary will be mindful, I'm sure. Amano on that far side. The latest substitute. Chu, and here is Amano. Into the area, that's possibilities. And goodness me. Well, Mel Forbes at the far post was trying to get there. Did just enough to cover her run. And you can imagine for the remainder of this game that Ottawa will be chasing everything offensively in search of an equaliser. Inside the last 10 minutes, there will be several minutes to add after the 90. Chu, referee again, having words with the protagonists in and around the penalty area and the penalty spot itself. Chu to deliver the corner. Right-footed, Moore. Chance to clear. Harris trying to keep the move doing. Does so. Chu. Curling ball into the area. Forbes trying to get there. But Calgary holds steady again. And now everything is in a hurry for Ottawa. Haaland with the throw. Looking for Adamek. Get a second opportunity perhaps. Mina trying to find the telling cross. Can she do so? Gibson lays it off to that left-hand side. Possibilities charge down. Heroic defending from Calgary. They will not let Ottawa through. But still the pressure is there. It's back with Mina. Left-footed this time. Again repelled by the Wild. Only as far as Harris. Plenty still forward for the Rapid. Mina, first time into the area. They thought about a handball. And then it was a mano. And Chu will pick it up. Incessant pressure from Ottawa. Harris delivers again. Too much on it. And behind for a goal kick. And Calgary can breathe. Just for a little while. And you can bet that Steph Bukovic will take just as long as the referee will allow her in restarting the game. Rolf Samir is there as well. So she'll do it instead. It will be a Calgary ball on that far side of the head of Belzile. Story got through a ton of work again. That right back position helped on. Bochum will win the ball for Calgary. Harris retreats back in face once again. Well, there have been plenty of opportunities, as you can see. Just about even Stevens at both ends of the field. Indeed, Calgary edging Ottawa in terms of shots on target. But just one goal separates them, with maybe 10 minutes left to play when you add on the stoppage time. Doherty Howard in the shadows, considering her options. If they could find a second here, it might just be game over. Looking for the short one for Moore. Bochum coming back from an offside position. She couldn't attack it. But maybe here the shot comes in, and it wasn't that far wide from Sonia O'Neill. Did feel to O'Neill, took a touch, set herself through a forest of legs. Now, did it take a deflection? I think it may be a corner kick. Indeed it is. O'Neill already has one goal this season. The 30-year-old from Toronto. She'd love to score a second and put this game to bed. Doherty Howard will be relieved to have seen her team score after seeing her own penalty saved. Can she turn provider? Well, Dagenet came. I don't think she got anything on it. Came to punch. O'Neill looking to get the ball back in the area. Faced by Gibson. Stood her ground. And away it goes. Another change coming for Ottawa. And it's going to be the introduction of Nicola Golan. And it'll be a straight change at left back. Chu is going to come off, so like for like replacement. And Nicola Golan is on for the remaining 10 minutes or so. 21-year-old from Toronto. Spent 4 seasons at Harvard University. Nicola Golan wears 15. Another attacking fullback. A smile from Chu. Applauding the crowd who return the favour. She walks around the touchline. But it is Calgary's turn to ramp up the pressure. And they're already trying to waste time down by the corner flag. And the referee decides that it will be a free kick for the Ottawa Rapid. Well, Jorians is saying, well, I was just shielding the ball with my body. Referee says, let's get on with it, and Harris will do so. Opponents need to be 10 yards away, so Harris can launch this one up towards halfway into opposition territory. Pridham looking to get something on it, help them out as the navy blue jerseys funnel forward for Ottawa in search of an important equaliser. Forbes making a run forward. Adamek is square, looking for the header. Oh, I think it's another wonderful save. And Pridham cannot believe that she didn't hit the target. Head in hands. Was there a touch from Bukovic? Have another look. First time, maybe not. Just grazed the top of the crossbar. And Pridham is denied again. No touch. I wondered for a moment. Just cleared the crossbar by no more than 6 inches. And you wonder if it's not the day for DV Pridham. Oh, and behind for a goal kick. Well, DV Pridham is usually spot on in those sort of positions. Took it on the half volley. Managed to clear Bukovic, but didn't manage to get it under the crossbar. How many more chances will the Rapid receive in the closing minutes? Lydia Bedford knows her team are close to an historic victory, but they've got to keep concentrating. Here's Forbes again, looking to supply the ammunition. It doesn't come this time. Haaland in. Borkham again looking to retain possession. Just as important as scoring a second is taking time off the clock. Gray, but out of play. It'll be a throw to the home team. Adamek flings it down the line. Now Pridham, touch inside, looking to turn provider perhaps. And Belzile let it run, but Mina hadn't read the play. Adamek again. Everything Rapid needs to do, well, dare we say it, rapidly. As we move into the final minute of the 90, Mina, her avenue is blocked. Finds its way back to Harris. Amano alongside her. Harris decides to go alone. The route to Pridham is blocked. Finds its way back to Amano. Out to the left-hand side. Still possibilities here for Ottawa in the closing minutes. Story trying to clear her lines. Using her body again to hold on to possession. But here they come again. Adamek from distance. Couple of feet over the crossbar. Seconds remaining in a regulation. This was the effort from Adamek from fully 30 yards, but it was never troubling Bukovic. We'll have a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. There is still time for the Rapid to earn a point, maybe more. Calgary Wild, their mission now is to survive for the remaining minutes, having got themselves in front. Can they convert this into a rare road win and a first ever win over the Ottawa Rapid? Borkham on her own and onside this time. Borkham into the area. Bochum, is this the moment? Oh, she tried one turn too many, and Harris read it. Could have pulled the trigger earlier. And Adamek comes away for Ottawa. Now Forbes looking for Pridham. Pridham, clever touch inside towards the edge of the area. Took the shot on first time, but it was always curling wide, and Mina couldn't get there at the far post. Last chance for Calgary. Danny Steer is on her way, and she will replace the hard-working Jorian Bochum for the last couple of minutes. Fifth and final change for Calgary. Well, she's got her first assist. She hasn't got her first goal yet, but another encouraging performance from Jorian Bochum as she beds herself in to the environs of the Northern Super League. Golan couldn't see what she did wrong. Referee disagrees and awards a free kick to Calgary. They're halfway through stoppage time. Just a matter of 2 minutes more for Calgary to perhaps produce the surprise result of week 17. Another free kick to the Wild. As long as it's in that area of the field, Ottawa can't hurt them. Calgary know it. If they can just retain possession for another 90 seconds or so, that'll be good enough. If they could score a second, Danny Steer gets her first chance. Well, there we are. Can't be offside from a throw. Steer. Now Gibson, they need to get it forward quickly. It's all they can do. But Moore is in the way. And Calgary get the ball back and then knock it out of play. No time to waste. Golan needs the ball. She needs to get it back in play. Final minutes of the 4 extra in Ottawa. Rapid beaten only once at home this season. Have they got time? Doherty Howard using her experience, but gives it away to Harris. Maybe one more chance. Ottawa scored with virtually the last kick of the match last weekend at Vancouver. Can they repeat the feat? If they're going to do it, it has to happen now. Into the area. And Belzile turning, and Mel Forbes stretching. Couldn't quite get there. And that's got to be the last chance for the Ottawa Rapid. Belzile across the face of goal. Forbes couldn't wrap her foot around it and force it in for another late show from the Ottawa Rapid. We have played the additional 4 minutes. Surely that was Ottawa's last chance. Vukovic was shown a yellow card, and now she's out of her area. We've played the additional 4 minutes. That is not the final whistle, I don't believe. The game is still active. 4.5 minutes gone. Referee will let them play just a little longer. Pridham looking to turn. Referee blows her final whistle. Calgary Wild record a first ever win over the Ottawa Rapid, and just their second road win of the season. Jackie Savitsky, the hero, from the supply from Jorian Bochum late in the game. There were many chances over the course of the 90 at both ends as the coaches share a handshake. But it is Jackie Savitsky, the Philippines international, with her first ever NSL goal, which decides this particular game and means that the Calgary Wild move within 2 points of the Vancouver Rise, who are in action later against the Halifax Tides. Bochum had a hand in the goal, and the Wild record their first victory over the Ottawa Rapid at the fourth time of asking. Let's have a look at the full-time stats. 5-4 on targets in favour of the Calgary Wild. Plenty of opportunities on goal at both ends of the field. Ottawa with the Lions' share of possession, but they failed to score. And despite a missed penalty from the Calgary Wild, they emerge victorious and end that 3-game losing streak. As a result, they move up to within 2 points of the Vancouver Rise. Ottawa Rapid remain in third spot. They are 4 points behind the Montreal Roses, who were also beaten at home earlier by AFC Toronto. So all smiles for the Calgary Wild. They knew their opportunity was coming. They played really well against AFC Toronto last weekend and got nothing out of it. Well, their patience and their hard work has been rewarded this time. They were resolute defensively and took those opportunities when they came along at the other end of the field. 3 more points for the Calgary Wild, who beat the Ottawa Rapid on home turf by 1-0.